Welcome back to the Step-by-Step English podcast, the absolute best place on the internet where we learn English and try very hard not to explode our brains. I am your host, Alex, and today we are going on a special trip back to school. Specifically, we are going back to the 4th grade science classroom to learn some truly fascinating vocabulary. But before we put on our safety goggles and white lab coats, I need to ask our expert teacher a very important question. Emma, why did the physics teacher break up with the biology teacher?
I have absolutely no idea, Alex. Why did they decide to break up?
Because there was simply no chemistry between them.
Wow, that is officially the most terrible joke you have ever made on this podcast. Hello, everyone. I am Emma, and despite Alex making terrible jokes, we are going to have a wonderfully educational time today. Today we are using fun and exciting science topics to learn some incredible new English vocabulary words. We are going to talk about invisible energy, ancient rocks, and even shocking electricity.
Electricity is definitely shocking. Do you understand my amazing joke? Because electricity literally gives you a physical shock.
Yes, Alex. Everybody understands the joke. Let us start our lesson with our very first major vocabulary word, which is energy. Energy is defined as the ability to do work or cause a physical change in the world. And the absolute most important thing about energy is that it can transfer.
Transfer? Is that like when I transfer my money from my bank account to buy expensive video games?
It is exactly like that concept, but we are dealing with physical power instead of digital money. To transfer something simply means to move it from one specific place to another place. In the world of science, we constantly talk about the concept of energy transfer.
So what exact kind of energy are we talking about moving around today? Are we talking about the massive amount of energy I need to get out of my warm bed every single morning?
Well, human biological energy comes from the food we eat, which is a type of chemical energy. But in our science curriculum today, we focus heavily on 4 main types of energy transfer. These 4 main types are light, sound, heat, and electricity.
Oh, I absolutely love heat energy. Especially when it transfers from a giant slice of hot pepperoni pizza directly into my hungry mouth. Even if the intense heat completely burns my tongue and makes me cry.
That is actually a perfectly accurate example of heat transfer, Alex. Heat energy always moves from a naturally warmer object directly to a cooler object. So the intense heat from the hot pizza quickly transfers to your cooler tongue.
And then the loud sound energy transfers from my mouth to the entire room when I scream in terrible pain. Ah.
You are surprisingly excellent at understanding these examples today. Sound energy transfers through the open air in completely invisible waves. When you scream loudly, your vocal cords vibrate quickly and send those sound waves out into the room.
What about bright light energy? Does light also travel in mysterious, invisible waves through the air?
Yes, it certainly does. Light energy travels rapidly from a bright source, like the burning sun or a glowing lamp, and bounces off physical objects. That bouncing light is exactly how our human eyes are able to see the beautiful world around us.
Okay, so we have covered heat, sound, and light energy. What was the 4th type of energy you mentioned earlier? Was it some kind of dark magic?
No, it is definitely not dark magic. The 4th major type of energy transfer is electricity. Electrical energy powerfully transfers through long metal wires to provide power to our modern homes and electronic devices.
Oh, right. Without electrical energy, my expensive video game console would not turn on at all. And that situation would be a true modern disaster for me.
It certainly would be a massive personal tragedy for your weekend plans. In order to make electricity work properly, we need to carefully build a simple electric circuit. The vocabulary word circuit means a continuous circular path that electricity easily follows.
A continuous circular path? Is it kind of like a tiny plastic racetrack for extremely fast little electric race cars?
That is a very fun and creative way to visualize it in your head. A simple electric circuit always needs 3 basic physical parts to work correctly. First, it absolutely needs a strong power source, like a standard battery.
Got it. A standard battery. I probably have hundreds of old batteries rolling around randomly in my messy kitchen drawers right now.
Second, the circuit needs a clear path for the electricity to flow through freely, like a thin copper wire. And third, it needs a specific device to consume the power, like a small, bright light bulb.
So the invisible electricity completely leaves the battery, runs quickly along the copper wire, and magically turns on the light bulb. That actually sounds like a pretty simple and logical process to understand. What happens if I take heavy scissors and aggressively cut the wire in half? Do not worry, I am wearing very safe rubber gloves in my vivid imagination.
If you cut the wire in half, the circular path is completely broken. The electricity simply cannot flow anymore, and the light bulb will immediately turn off. In science, we officially call that specific situation an open circuit.
So an open circuit means the electrical power is currently off. And a closed circuit means the electrical power is successfully flowing and turning things on. I am practically a certified professional scientist at this point in the podcast.
You are definitely mastering the scientific vocabulary, Dr. Alex. Now let us change the educational subject completely and look closely at the solid ground beneath our feet. We are going deeply into the topic of Earth's complex natural systems.
Finally, I was getting extremely tired of talking about all that invisible floating energy. Let us talk about some heavy solid rocks and giant piles of dirt.
Good, because our next major vocabulary word for today is erosion. Erosion is the slow natural process where powerful wind, flowing water, or heavy ice moves soil and rocks from one place to another completely different place.
Wait just a minute. Heavy rocks can actually move. I always thought large rocks were just incredibly lazy and stayed in one exact location forever.
They definitely do not move by themselves, Alex. Fast-flowing water in a massive river can slowly push thousands of tiny pieces of rock steadily downstream. Over millions of years, this powerful flowing water can successfully carve incredibly deep and beautiful canyons into the earth.
Millions of years? I absolutely do not have that kind of extreme patience. If I desperately want to move a rock, I just kick it really hard with my shoe.
Kicking a rock aggressively with your shoe is not considered a natural earth system. Another highly important concept to learn is how incredible rock formations actually happen in nature. Weathering slowly breaks large rocks down into smaller pieces, and then erosion permanently moves those pieces away.
Weathering? Is that vocabulary word related to when the outside weather is bad, and it suddenly rains on my parade?
Yes, it is directly related to the actual weather. Heavy rain, freezing winter temperatures, and extremely strong winds slowly break giant solid mountains into much smaller rocks and fine sand. This continuous natural process creates highly beautiful rock formations over a remarkably long period of time.
So Mother Nature is basically a giant talented sculptor, but she works at a really slow pace. What else is secretly hiding deep down in the dark dirt beneath us? Did someone secretly say we are going to dig up ancient dinosaur bones?
You completely read my mind again, Alex. Over millions of years, billions of dead natural plants and large animals get buried deeply underground. The incredibly heavy weight of the rocks above and the extreme heat from inside the earth slowly change them.
Change them into what exactly? Terrifying underground zombie dinosaurs? Please tell me we are studying zombie dinosaurs today.
There are absolutely no zombies involved in this scientific process, unfortunately. They eventually change into incredibly valuable resources called fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are highly important combustible materials like black coal, thick liquid oil, and invisible natural gas.
Oh, so the expensive liquid gas we constantly put into our modern cars is actually made from ancient dead dinosaurs and crushed plants. That is incredibly cool and slightly weird to think about.
It is a very fascinating and complex natural process. We actively burn these underground fossil fuels to rapidly create massive amounts of useful energy. But you must remember, they naturally take millions of years to fully form, so we definitely cannot replace them easily once they are gone.
Right, so we should probably not waste them unnecessarily every single day. Maybe I should start carefully walking to the grocery store instead of rapidly driving my giant dinosaur-powered car everywhere I go.
That would genuinely be a very responsible and healthy choice for the global environment. Now, I have one absolutely final interesting topic for our deep science lesson today. We urgently need to discuss the complicated process of information transfer through waves.
Waves. Are you talking about the giant blue waves at the sunny tropical beach? I am completely ready to go surfing right now, Emma.
We are definitely not talking about salty ocean waves, Alex. We are deeply discussing invisible energy waves that magically carry digital information through the open air or through long underground cables. We are talking about modern things like invisible radio waves, powerful microwaves, and extremely helpful Wi-Fi signals.
Oh, beautiful Wi-Fi. Now you are finally speaking my absolute favorite technological language. How does magical Wi-Fi actually work in the real world? Is it truly a group of tiny invisible wizards flying quickly through the air carrying my heavy internet data in little bags?
There are absolutely no flying wizards involved in this technology. Our clever electronic devices instantly turn digital information into specific complex patterns of invisible energy waves. These invisible patterned waves quickly travel silently through the empty air until they hit a receiving antenna.
So my expensive smartphone magically creates a complex wave pattern, sends it flying through the empty air, and a giant metal tower easily catches it. That honestly sounds significantly more like crazy magic than logical science.
It genuinely feels like magic, but it is actually just very highly advanced modern technology. The receiving digital device carefully translates those invisible flying waves right back into colorful pictures, funny text messages, or loud videos. This specific technology is exactly how we can easily video call someone on the complete opposite side of the world instantly.
This entire science lesson is completely blowing my fragile mind today. We started by talking about a hot slice of pizza terribly burning my tongue, and now we are magically sending invisible internet waves completely across the entire globe. Science is absolutely wild and incredibly fascinating.
It really is fascinating, and deeply learning this specific English vocabulary clearly helps us understand the complex world around us. Important scientific words like energy transfer, electric circuit, slow erosion, and ancient fossil fuels are incredibly useful to know.
Let me quickly see if I can successfully summarize everything we learned today without making another terrible joke.
I highly doubt you can avoid making a joke, but please try your absolute best.
Okay, here we go with my serious scientific summary. Powerful energy constantly moves around our world in different interesting ways like hot heat, bright light, and loud sound. Shocking electricity absolutely needs a complete closed circuit to work properly, acting exactly like a fast racetrack for raw power. Flowing water and blowing wind slowly break down giant rocks through the long natural processes of weathering and erosion. And finally, beautiful Wi-Fi is just invisible flying waves carrying my funny internet cat videos silently through the empty air. How was that for a serious summary?
That was actually an absolutely perfect and highly accurate summary, Alex. You clearly paid very close attention to every single new vocabulary word we discussed today. I am genuinely very proud of your language learning progress today.
See? I am an incredibly excellent student when I actually want to pay attention. Well, that is officially all the time we have for today's exciting episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for actively learning English with us and deeply exploring the wild world of science. Please remember to keep constantly practicing these brand new vocabulary words in your normal daily life. And if you happen to see a large rock sitting on the ground, please do not kick it. Just patiently let natural erosion do its slow job. Have an absolutely wonderful day, everyone, and we will definitely see you next time.